Hello and well met, my friends, and welcome to Medieval Cooking and More. I'm your host, Don Neslin, and this is my co-host, Rupert. Together we'll take you back into a time of knights, damsels, and cooks who would spend a large amount of their lord's money on satisfying his culinary desires, and this means spices. Many people have a conception of the Middle Ages that is slightly askewed from the truth. The medieval period starts around 500 AD and lasts until 1500 AD, and in some areas lasted longer. Now, part of the problem with the Middle Ages, many people think that it only included England, France, Germany, Italy, and part of Spain. But let's go over here to the map, and I'll point out the areas that were included in the Middle Ages. Over here you see we have marked out most of Europe. Starting with Gibraltar, going up around England into Scandinavia, with Norway, Sweden, Finland, the Ural Mountains, down through the Ukraine, into the Balkans, and also included the northern reaches of Egypt, Libya, Algeria, and North Africa. In Western Africa, in the areas of like Timbuktu, there were kingdoms that rose and traded with the medieval merchants. And also here in Eastern Africa, with Ethiopia having a very large, powerful, and flamboyant medieval period. In Constantinople, we can go in two directions. We can go south down into the Levant, Saudi Arabia, up around the Horn of Africa, down across the Arabian Sea, India, and around the Spice Isles. We can also take the spice route, go up through the northern areas to include China. So the Middle Ages had a lot of activity, a lot of interchange and commerce. Marco Polo was not the first to travel to China. There were merchants before. Marco Polo gets the credit because he wrote a couple of famous books. So there was a lot of going on within the Middle Ages. Now, over here, we have our bookcase with all our recipe books, and yes, there's a lot of recipe books in there. But on the second shelf, there are 22 printed cookbooks. Okay? And on my computer, I have close to 90 PDFs of cookbooks from the Middle Ages. And also included in that is a historical novel from Bedina Karahan, The Marriage Test. That is the book that started this all with me about 5 years ago. Reading it, rereading it, and trying to create the recipes that she mentioned, and researching it, and acquiring more books to redact the recipes from. Now, what will we be covering in these videos? Well, we'll be covering what the cooks wore in the kitchen. And yes, we see a lot of pictures of very flowery and flowing costumes, but those weren't worn in the kitchen. Kitchens were not the sole domain of a man or a woman. We'll also cover the cooking utensils. I have a small sampling here of some of the stuff that was used, and this is by far not all of it. Okay. We'll discuss the knives and the cooking utensils in an upcoming video. And yes, some of the stirring spoons and knives were as heavy as swords. And the pots and pans, well, they cooked over an open fire, and they had long-handled pots and pans to cook with. So, though there have been many misconceptions about the Middle Ages, starting with the Gregorians and the Edwardian periods, where they both glamorized and demonized the Middle Ages, and Hollywood, which keeps persistently miscuing life in the Middle Ages. So Rupert and I will try to dispel some of these misconceptions. So stay tuned, and in our next video we'll go out and visit the kitchen that I've created to redact the recipes that are here in these cookbooks and others, and so that you at home can begin to prepare for hosting your own feasts. So until next time, I bid you adieu. If you like this video, and yes, I'm still a bit nervous with making these videos. If you like the videos, subscribe, hit the like so that you can receive all the upcoming videos. Thank you.